Okay, I want you to imagine a world with absolutely no charging cables, no more dead batteries, and no more piles of toxic e-waste. Instead, imagine a world where trillions of little devices are powered silently and sustainably by the invisible energy that's already all around us. Now, this might sound like something straight out of science fiction, but this is the future we're going to dive into right now. So, to really get where we're going, we first have to talk about the huge problem we have right now. See, we are completely chained to batteries. Think about it. An IoT sensor might be built to last for a decade, but its battery, it dies in a year, maybe two. This creates this massive mismatch in its life cycle, which leads to impossible maintenance costs and, honestly, an environmental nightmare. And what does that nightmare actually look like? Well, it looks like this number, 900,000 tons. That's how much toxic lead and mercury from all those discarded batteries we dump into our environment every single year. It's not sustainable. So the big question is, how do we break free from these chains? Well, the first key is a technology that sounds impossible but is very, very real. It literally pulls power right out of thin air. It's called wireless power transmission. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. We're sending electricity through the air. Just imagine walking into your house and your phone just starts charging in your pocket. No plugs, no cables, just pure invisible energy transfer. And what's so fascinating is that this isn't some brand new idea we just cooked up. We are literally standing on the shoulders of giants here. I mean, this goes all the way back to Faraday's discovery in the 1830s, to Nikola Tesla's incredible visionary experiments, and even a wirelessly powered helicopter flight way back in the 1960s. So today, this technology works in two main ways. Over on the left, you've got near-field power. This is super efficient, but only for short distances. That's basically the wireless charger you use for your phone. And then on the right, you have far field, which is the really wild stuff. This can beam power across a room or even kilometers away to power a whole network of tiny sensors. But okay, sending power is only half the story. What if devices didn't even need power sent to them at all? What if they could just find it and harvest it themselves? That brings us to our second key concept, and this one is a real mind-bender: ambient IoT. This is the true game changer, folks. Ambient IoT devices are these tiny, zero-energy computers that basically act like energy sponges. They just soak up power from all the sources that are already around us: light, radio waves, heat, even motion. This gives them a potentially infinite, completely maintenance-free lifespan. So what are we talking about here? Well, for one, they can literally sip power from the LED light bulb in your ceiling. These tiny indoor solar cells are now so efficient that they can run a sensor just on the regular ambient light in an office. Or how about this? They can harvest power from the Wi-Fi and 5G signals that are already filling the air all around you. You see, those radio waves are carrying energy, and these little devices are specifically designed to capture that energy and turn it right into electricity. And it gets even more amazing. They can use the waste heat coming off a factory machine that would otherwise just disappear. Or they can even convert the tiny, constant vibrations from a bridge or a motor into a steady, reliable stream of power. Okay, so they've got this tiny sip of power. But how on earth do they communicate? Well, they use this absolutely brilliant technique called backscatter. The best way to think about it is this: it's the difference between a lighthouse, which uses a ton of its own power to blast out a signal, and a signal mirror, which uses almost no energy to simply reflect a light that's already there. That's how these devices can send us huge amounts of data. So this all sounds pretty amazing in theory, right? But what does a world powered this way actually look like? Well, let me tell you, this isn't just theory anymore. This revolution is already happening. And this comparison just illustrates the leap perfectly. We go from old school RFID, where somebody has to walk up and manually scan a box up close, to ambient IoT, where that same box powers itself and continuously reports its own location and even its temperature up to the cloud. No human intervention needed at all. In the world of logistics, this means a truly smart supply chain. We're talking about warehouses that have a perfect, real-time inventory count at all times. And think about a cold chain for food and medicine that's constantly being monitored by battery-free sensors, guaranteeing safety all the way from the farm to the pharmacy. Now let's talk about healthcare, because the impact here is it's profound. We can now power medical implants wirelessly. This means we can have a pacemaker that can be recharged right through the skin, completely ending the need for risky surgeries every 5 or 10 years just to replace a battery. I mean, just think about what this unlocks. We're talking about a future with smaller, less invasive implants, continuous glucose monitors that you never ever have to charge, even tiny sensors you can swallow that can monitor your health from the inside without any risk from a toxic battery. It is a complete paradigm shift for medicine. So, where is all of this going? What happens when we combine all of these incredible technologies? Well, we start to lay the foundation for a truly smart and, most importantly, sustainable future.
You say, this is the key that unlocks the next generation of connectivity, 6G. And we're not just talking about connecting billions of devices anymore. No, we are talking about a future with trillions of connected, zero-energy devices, all powered sustainably. This is how we give a digital voice to absolutely everything, from a single vial of a vaccine to a concrete pillar inside a bridge. The vision here is really staggering. The ultimate goal is to build a true digital nervous system for our entire planet, an intelligent, self-sufficient network that can monitor everything from our infrastructure to our environment in real time, all without contributing a single dead battery to the e-waste crisis. So the next time you plug in your phone, I want you to think about this. We have always imagined this hyper-connected future, but for the very first time, we can actually see a clear path to building one. A future that doesn't just run on power, but one that can power itself, using the ambient energy of the world, potentially forever.